The Alliance for Equality of Blind Canadians is pleased to bring you training on a variety of assistive technologies. Please like and subscribe.
This is our training and technology session for Tuesday, April the 21st. And today our presenter is someone I have known for quite some time, Wendy Edie, and she is going to discuss the Echo Vision Agiga glasses, and because she has a pair of them. So I'm not going to say too much. I'm going to let Wendy say what she wants to say about herself, but I'm going to pass it on to her right now.
Okay, well, welcome to all of you, and I thanks for inviting me to be part of this this movement, I guess, that we have towards getting smart glasses and getting information out there about them, accurate user information. So it's my pleasure to be here today. I'm going to introduce you to Aggie, and Aggie is my glasses. I get very confused when we talk about glasses, whether we're talking about the plural or the singular. You know, glasses are something, but then the device is. So since it comes from Agiga, I have named my glasses Aggie. So from now on, my glasses are just Aggie, and that's how we're going to talk about her. And we're talking about her as a her because she has a very feminine voice. Now, tech for blind people never exists alone. It always exists with a person. So knowing something about me might be important to put things in context. I have been blind all my life, and I really don't have any vision that's useful for anything except for telling whether the lights are on, which I can see. So I would say that I'm a kind of practical techie. I'm not interested in having technology that isn't doing something for me. And really, I don't do much with technology unless it's kind of fun. Like, I wouldn't, there's someone on the Echo Vision group of pioneers that we have going on right now who give feedback. Someone wrote to that group and said he has 7 pairs of smart glasses and listed all of them off and was making recommendations that these ones should look more stylish. So I would never have 7 pairs of smart glasses. I had the Meta glasses. I sold them when I thought they were still worth money and invested the money in these. I am 72 years old. I walk with a guide dog and I read Braille and I'm retired. And this is the context. Oh, and I live alone, which I think makes a big difference when it comes to using devices like smart glasses that you would need to pick up, because by the time I pick up Aggie, if I still had David, I might very well have just said, David, can you tell me this, or can you look for that? But since I don't have David anymore, I have a tendency to pick up Aggie and get her to do that for me. So that is the context in which I use her. Now, technology. I have right beside me an audio Bluetooth speaker, and Aggie would normally be talking into my ears. She looks like a pair of sunglasses, really. She's got thick black frames and large lenses over your eyes. They're not thick, but they cover most of the territory over your eyes. And normally she would speak directly into my ears from the insides of her arms. But today I have her speaking on an external speaker so that you will be able to hear it. The one problem with this, well, there's a couple problems. Number one, it sort of fades in and out on our computer speaker, so you won't hear her as well as I will hear her because she'll be speaking, hopefully, nicely and loudly on my external speaker. The second problem is when I start to show you the live AI, hearing the speaker kind of interrupts Aggie. So she keeps thinking that somebody is trying to ask her something. So we may have a few tech problems there. The third issue, of course, is that whenever you want to show off technology, it tends to get nervous. and hides and won't really perform. Aggie has promised me she will perform, but we'll have to wait and see. So first I'm going to just show you some of Aggie's features. Then I'm going to talk a bit about the company that built Aggie and why they did it, and what I know now about what they're planning for the future. And then I will try to answer questions that you have. So Aggie has basically only 3 control buttons. She has a touch button on her left arm that you can tap, and you can push it back and forth to change the volume. She has a power button on her left arm that will also take a picture or a video, as well as turning the power off and on. On her right arm, she has all her AI features. So if you press her once, she'll describe the screen. If you press her 3 times, she'll read the text. If you press her twice, she'll go into live AI. So she'll keep taking new pictures and try to tell you what it is that you're seeing as you move around. So in the beginning here, I'm just going to press Aggie's button once and let her tell you a scene description.
A dimly lit indoor scene showing a dining area with a table and chairs near large windows. There is a hanging light fixture above the table and a kitchen counter with drawers in the foreground.
Aggie, is there anything on the counter?
The kitchen counter has various items, including a toaster, some utensils in a holder, and a few other small objects, but no.
And you see, I forgot and said Aggie, and so she's looking for eggs. But, but aside from that, she heard my question, and this is not the live AI. This is just the scene description and then asking a question after the scene description. So, Diana, how was that for, could people hear that, do you think?
No, it kind of faded in and out, so you might have to let her talk, because I know it was clearer before, but rather than dwell on it, just kind of give a quick overview of what she said is probably the easiest way to do this at this point, because I know she speaks clearer than that, so people shouldn't use this as a indicator of how she'll talk to you.
Let me just try one more time.
The scene shows a desk near a window with papers, an open book, and a laptop keyboard visible. Outside the window, there is a view of a building, a grassy area with trees, and a distant city skyline under a partly cloudy sky.
That was very clear.
Okay, there we go. So now I'm going to show you how Aggie will read some text.
Detecting text. Lift the left about 1 inch. Stay still for a moment. Processing. This appears to be a book page. 148, the year's 1911, and of Canada, so I was put in grade 2. Many of the children teased me about my English words, which I still use and am proud of. The Aldises moved out west, but the Barnardo Home Council would not let me go with them, so I returned to Peterborough. They sent me to work for another farmer. There were 2 children, one in a cradle and one running about.
Okay, so that is Aggie reading a book. And she focused pretty quickly on there. I just opened that book to a random page. She would have read two pages across. And she would have read them properly, most likely, right to the end of the second page. So that's how she does that. Live AI, I'm going to have more difficulty showing you because I have to hold the speaker too close to the computer and the speaker interrupts Aggie. So I'm just going to tell you about live AI. So with live AI, we push a button and she tells you what she sees. And then as you move, she starts over and tells you what she sees now. I find when you're walking, there's about somewhere between 10 and 15 seconds in between when she tells you, because, well, number one, she has to have time to take the next picture. Number two, she has to have time to tell you. And then again, she's going to take the next picture and process it. So you couldn't run down the street with Aggie on your face and expect her to prevent you from falling into a deep hole. But you can stop on the street and get her to look for things like, for example, the door to my hairdresser, which I just did the other day. I turned her on just a little before I got there. She told me what buildings I was passing. I asked her specifically to find the salon, and she told me the salon was in front of me. And so I stopped, but by the time she told me that, of course, I'd passed it by a little bit, so I had to turn around. But these are the kinds of things that she can do. So she's pretty good, really, compared to the Meta glasses, at doing many of the specific things that people who are blind need. Before I go on, I'm just going to show you how she describes people, which seems to be of great interest to certain people, mostly people who can see, but also blind people as well. So she keeps a complete record of everything she says, so you can go in there and find out what she actually said. So I have transcribed this from what she said. So this is how she describes me in the mirror. An elderly Caucasian woman with fair, somewhat wrinkled skin, light blue eyes behind dark-rimmed glasses. Her hair is a pale blonde, appearing somewhat thin and reaching just past her shoulders. She is of average height, with a somewhat fuller build. Her expression is neutral, with her mouth slightly open, giving her a thoughtful, perhaps slightly surprised look. That's me in the mirror. And so if you are focusing solely on a person, clearly wanting them to describe that person, that's the kind of description you'll get with that sort of information. If you're just walking down the street, Aggie will say 2 people are walking down the street before you, in front of you or towards you. So she's quite not nearly as verbal, unless she knows that you are kind of focusing directly on the person and wanting them described. So you can ask her to describe a person. You can ask her if she saw a sign. What I showed you right at the very first was Aggie described the view sitting on my chair here, which is into the dining room and the kitchen. And when she had finished, she hadn't said whether there was anything on the kitchen counter. So I asked her. And when she said, when she heard that, she described the things that are on my kitchen counter right now. So she does answer questions while she is describing things. So that's a kind of summary of what Aggie does well, what she does for blind people. You can use her to easily make a direct call to Be My Eyes or Ira. And so the person who answers the call can see what you're seeing through Aggie's camera. You can also use her to record video that you might want to keep, but I'll tell you the sound quality right now of her video recordings is extremely poor. So you wouldn't be trying to record a concert on her video or anything like that. But I think the pictures are not too bad, but the sound is not good. The Agiga people say that they're working on that. So how did we get Aggie and her sisters? We got them because I think a couple of years ago, Meta came out with the Meta Ray-Ban smart glasses, and blind people went to them in the tens of thousands all around the world and bought them. They are accidentally accessible. They weren't meant for blind people. They were meant for sighted people who could see through the lenses perfectly fine, but they wanted to listen to their music in their ears from their iPhone or their Android, and they wanted to be able to take pictures hands-free. However, and they had some AI, they have some AI that will answer some questions. And so blind people snapped them up, went wildly buying meta glasses, me included. And as I say, I'm not particularly a techie, but I thought it would be very nice to be able to use a wearable device to look at things. When I got the meta glasses, I discovered that they really wouldn't. I think they could. They wouldn't read. They would tell you what was on a page, and sometimes they would read some text, but they actually wouldn't read. And not only wouldn't they read, but they also would make up stuff or hallucinate, as they say with smart glasses. So, for example, I went to a restaurant. I had read the menu online before I got there, and that's a good thing I had done that, because my meta glasses read me a menu in the restaurant, but it wasn't the menu I'd read online. So I asked my niece, who was sitting beside me, to please read the menu. And she read the exact same menu I had read online before I got there. So for some reason, the meta glasses had simply gone online themselves or to the internet, collected the menu from another restaurant, and read that to me. So they were hallucinating. The day I knew I was getting rid of them was the day that they told everybody in the US and Canada for 5 hours that the scene we were seeing was the Trump Tower. It was just before the US election, and I didn't like that at all. Really, they had put the glasses offline, and they were, I think, just taking a picture of New York, but I didn't like it, and I thought, I'm getting rid of these at the first opportunity. And so afterwards, I did. The things I use Aggie for every day at the moment, I always use her to look through the mail. This morning, I was testing her, hoping that you'd be able to hear it properly, but I know you can't, so I'm not going to try. I was just testing her with taking down the things from my baking cupboard. And each time I took down a new thing, baking powder, baking soda, allspice, vinegar, each time I took down a new thing, she was identifying that right off. So as I took these things down, cornstarch, she had 7 in a row accurate. So that impressed me quite a lot. For the most part, she's pretty good at packaging now and getting better and better at reading cylindrical objects. So I use her for that. And I really use her when I lose stuff, which at my age seems to be really often. Just losing stuff around my house. About the 3rd day I had her, I was just taking pictures around and listening to the scene descriptions. And she said that on my bathroom floor, there was a maroon slipper, which I hadn't known there was a maroon slipper. So that was fine. I bent down and looked for the slippers, but I could only find the one. So I asked her then if she could find the matching slipper. And she said, yes, it's in the bathtub. So we don't need to talk about how my slipper got into the bathtub, but I would not have found that slipper for many days in the bathtub because I have a shower that's not in my bathtub. So it would have been a long time before I could find that. So I really use her for that. The second day I had her, I read 67 pages of a book that is in print and not on audio recording that I had wanted to read. And I felt really good about that. I just sat and read the book, flipping the pages, reading page after page after page. It's the first time I ever picked up a book, held it before my eyes, and read a book page after page. So I really, really liked that too. So those are the kinds of things that Aggie has done for me. I got her around I guess I got her at the 23rd of March. So I've only had her for a few weeks, but in general, she's pretty good. Now I want to talk about the Agiga.ai, Agiga AI, the company that formed to produce Aggie. They began with 2 engineers who have worked for large tech companies like Google and Amazon. And I say this, I got most of this information from the chatbot, ChatGPT. So this is where I got the information, with the warning that chatbots make mistakes. But I think we're pretty good in this particular instance. So it was started, they got $3.6 million in startup capital, most of it coming from the Valkyrie Fund. And they wanted to have a market niche because, of course, you can't make a startup and compete adequately with companies like Google and Meta. So you've got to do something different. So they chose the blind people as a niche market. And if they did that because they had an Uncle Pete who was blind or somebody they really care about, we don't know. Haven't been able to find that out, and they don't say that in their public relations. They decided to form a company, though, with the niche of inventing smart glasses that would be better for blind people than the smart glasses that were on the market. So that was their goal. And at that time, they were competing with the Envision glasses. So they said they wanted to put them out for about 1/10 of the cost, 10% of the cost. So they wanted them to be inexpensive, which is the reason why people were getting the Meta glasses, is because they were about 10% of the cost of the Envision glasses that had been out before. Now, they had this money. They didn't invent any new parts. They were using existing parts and aiming them towards the real needs of blind people. They hired some blind people to do some of their PR work for them, and they blitzed the blind community. They went to all the conferences where blind people would be. They got a good demo going. They put out writing everywhere they could put it. We never, in the olden days, we never had ways that we could reach a lot of blind people. We'd try to do it through the CNIB, and they would not promote products for whatever reasons. And we just couldn't get mass information for blind people out there. But now we can, if people are ambitious about using all these networks. So they put out surveys, and they asked blind people what they wanted most in smart glasses. They presented demos at conferences. They put everything out in print wherever they could put it out on the internet. They offered people the chance to pre-order. And this is where I came in. When I sold my Meta glasses, I put the money towards the Agiga glasses. And I think I paid $450 Canadian at that time, $450 Canadian. I paid the money in June. I didn't get my glasses until March of this year because they hadn't been built yet. They built some early pairs, but they didn't distribute them. Then in early this year, they began to distribute what they call the pioneer issue of their glasses. That's only to people who had pre-ordered, put down the money and pre-ordered. So that's what they did. They sent out the glasses to those of us who wanted them at that point. They promised refunds if we didn't like them. They offered the pre-order people the chance not to take the glasses if they didn't want them right now, to wait until they had the final edition, which they're now calling V1. So we're right now using Pioneer glasses. Those of us who have them, the company will replace them with the V1 version when it's ready. Right now, our job is to wear these glasses, try them out, use them, figure out what the engineers need to know in order to build them better. Eventually, they are going to settle on what the glasses will be. They'll produce V1, and they'll put V1 on the market. At the beginning of this session, Betty was asking about a code. So this very day, we who are pioneers got an email giving us a code, saying that we can give this code to any blind people who would want to use it. And so what it means is that you will be able to get the V1 glasses. You'll have to buy them, of course. And I think they will be more expensive than what we paid in the early pre-orders, but maybe, I don't really know, somewhere between
Wendy,
5 and 6.
it's $830 Canadian.
$830 now? Okay.
Yeah,
30,
I just went on the website.
Okay,
but,
yeah.
But apparently they're going to send you the Pioneer version.
Yeah, if you want it.
Yeah.
And then they'll trade yours for the V1 in the end too. And they're going to let you have 6 months free of the subscription fee, because here we go. There's going to be a free version of subscription, which will give you a little bit of, it would give you 100 pages of reading a month and 5 minutes of live AI a month, and some scene description as well. So, and then they'll have a $10 a month version called Independence. And if you take the code, and you decide you want it, then you'll get 6 months free of the subscription fee. Those of us who started at the very beginning won't pay a subscription fee right through the end of the V1 edition. So that's how they're setting it up. Ira has a subscription fee, as does JAWS Now and Microsoft 365. Seems like subscriptions are the way that people are going. And I looked up ways that this company can make money, because this was their goal in forming a niche market, was to actually find a way to make money. They can make money, well, if a lot of blind people came and bought their product. They can make money if they can sell it to disability insurance companies and maybe school boards, organizations that are going to pay the cost of the glasses for individuals. They could make money that way. Or once they really get them properly fine-tuned and settled, maybe there are features that will be attractive on the broader market too, so that they would be able to sell them beyond the market to blind people. And I think I've said pretty much everything that I want to say about these glasses right now. Perhaps it would be fair for me to say that when I read all the feedback from the Pioneer users right now, because we have this very, very active email, I see that people do have all sorts of issues. The batteries discharge too quickly. They have connection issues. There are some people who say they should be prettier. There are sometimes one mode or another will go out. This morning, I actually wrote an incident report, because when I was setting up for today, the live AI started interrupting every 2 seconds. And so I sent an incident report, because I'd never done that before, only to realize in the end, before they told me, that it's because of the audio speaker. The Bluetooth speaker I was using for your benefit was, Aggie thought that they were talking to her, and so she kept interrupting herself. So, they're finicky and fiddly, but I have definitely found them to be more useful than the Meta glasses. More reliable, more trustworthy, and I've been able to use them for things that I need and want to use them for. Now I've said what I'm going to say. I'll be happy to welcome discussion or questions.
Excellent.
Okay, that's amazing. Huh. I actually have one question, because you haven't mentioned it. It's Marcy, and I'm wondering what I'm assuming there is an app that connects these things and that you use to to set them up and to keep track of things. How is the app?
Yes, of course. So, and I should have, if I was smarter, I would have mentioned that in the first place. So in order to have smart glasses, these smart glasses, you do have to have either an iPhone or an Android. Doesn't seem like you have to have a really, really current version of iPhone. I think they say iPhone 8. So you do have to have a smartphone. The app is called Echo Vision. Anybody can download the Echo Vision app. It's just that it's not much use to you if you don't have glasses to attach it to. It's not like something like Be My Eyes that you can, where you can take pictures independently with the app. You can't. You have to have the glasses. But the app is free, and anyone can download it. I find the app to be quite usable. It's slow, if you are, they call them media. If you're taking photographs, for example, and they're associated with your glasses, you have to download them later into your phone, and people are complaining that is quite a finicky process. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. I don't have any real need or wish to take photographs or videos through these glasses, so I haven't used that very much. The glasses do collect a history. They have sections to set things like the volume, to set it for an external speaker. They do have to run on Wi-Fi, or else they have to run through a hotspot on your phone. So they're using whatever internet service your phone is using, or they're using a Wi-Fi that they're connecting to. I took them to my sister's house. She lives in Lougheed, Alberta, where the internet service is terrible, just always really, really bad there. And it was at Easter, and everyone wanted to see Aggie because I wrote about her on Facebook. However, she wouldn't. She just wouldn't do anything at all. I think if I had time to be at my sister's, I could probably once get her connected to the Wi-Fi there. And if I could get that started, she would keep on connecting to the Wi-Fi, but she definitely would not tolerate a hotspot for internet that wouldn't be Wi-Fi there, because it's just very poor. Even your iPhone will sometimes have difficulty with it.
Okay, great. Thank you. I've got no one so far.
Marcy, the one
Unless-
thing I would add is that it's not like the Meta glasses or the Solos glasses in that it doesn't use Bluetooth to connect the phone and the glasses. It has to be Wi-Fi or a hotspot.
So we're back to, that's the way the original Ira glasses worked.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, the Ira glasses, are you thinking it had to be WhatsApp?
No, the
okay.
originals,
Oh,
way
all right.
back when.
Way back
When they
Yeah,
had
way back 1,000
glasses.
years ago. Yeah. I
When
have
they had
found,
their own.
And you don't have to take your phone with you unless you're going out, I guess. If you're going out and you have to connect through a hotspot,
then your phone has
to be with you.
But around your house, you don't have to have your phone with you. You can just wear the glasses, and the phone can be any old place. And I've actually found, Betty, that the hotspot connection, like walking around outside, doing the outside stuff here that I do with Aggie away from any Wi-Fi, the hotspot's pretty
working?
good. Yeah,
Okay,
it's
that's
working
good to
quite
hear.
well.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not cutting out on me. Now, my sister has these glasses too, and she can see a lot, and if you can see through these lenses, you aren't nearly as needy of a set of glasses because you're always checking up on them. But I think, like, she has had difficulty getting her hotspot connected. She also has hearing aids, so I think everything just gets too complicated. And but I think she will get it done eventually. Just her own motivation to do it is not as large as mine would be, because I really want these to be useful. I do want them to find my hairdresser. We are just belabored by construction here. It's unbelievable how much construction you have to walk in right now to leave my apartment at all. And it goes on for blocks and blocks. So I do have Zoe, the guide dog, and Zoe we've had such a suffering with construction over the last few years that even Zoe has become very competent about it. But between Zoe and a camera to actually look and tell me whether there are barriers that we can't even cross, or it's really much better to get through construction than it is without them.
And where is the camera on the glasses?
It
it
is
in the
right
middle?
at the front on the right-hand side.
So it's also on the side, like the
Yeah.
Metas.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's not on the middle of the glasses. It's just off to the right. I find the view of the camera, though, they seem to have set it so that it so that it's focusing straight ahead in a good way. It will definitely tell you what's over there on the left when you are thinking that you're looking straight ahead. So it does seem to be good about compensating for that. You don't feel like you're more served on the right than you are on the left.
I've got thinking about this when you talked about, and it made perfect sense to me, your glasses telling you your hairdresser's right in front, but it isn't. So then you have to go back. What
Right.
if you stopped and asked it and waited for the response? Do you think that she would be more accurate? I mean, you don't want to always stop, but when you're so close to something, do you think that would help?
Absolutely. Because not only that, but you could just then, if you stopped right then and press the scene description button, you could quickly ask, probably even before it described the scene, you could ask it where the salon is. And Aggie would be able to tell you quite accurately where it is relative to you. So yes, stopping would be a good thing, because I didn't really know, she said right in front of you. And so I probably was already too close to it by the time she had gotten around to it. She'd been looking for it for a whole block. A block back, I had said to her, find the base salon, and she couldn't find the base salon. She kept saying, I can't see it, I can't see it, I can't see it, every time she would click back in. But then finally she said, oh, it's right in front of you. So, she was looking for it. It's pretty impressive. But better than a lot of sighted people I know.
That's great. Anyone else have any questions? I'm not seeing, there are no hands.
Yeah. So I don't know if I would pay $830 now, plus
that's
a
what it
monthly
is.
subscription fee. Like I don't know if I would pay that or not. I think that Aggie would be a true asset in a workplace, because she does read properly for the most part, and she also will help you get around. So, I think a really good case could be made for her in a student context or an employment context, which I couldn't say that for the meta glasses, that's for sure. So it might be possible. And even then, $830 is quite a bit cheaper than the Envision glasses. It's not cheaper than the Solos glasses, but the Solos glasses, I don't know, don't seem to have really caught on, or I don't know anybody. I do know one person who got them and the battery died the first day, and they haven't replaced it yet since Christmas. So I don't know what happened to the Solos glasses. If any of you know, you could tell me.
I've heard good things about all of them, and I've heard bad
Mhm.
things about all of
Yeah.
them. I think
Yeah.
it's like any other device, especially in its infant stage, which these are all in their infancy stage. That you get the good, the bad, and the not so good.
Yeah. Like, I think Aggie will probably be obsolete in a couple of years, because there'll be something that much better, or who knows what the rules or guardrails are going to be around AI, because AI is amazing, absolutely amazing, but that same amazingness causes some difficulties around
Yeah.
the world. And when I look at the history, and I certainly don't wear Aggie all day by any means or use her tons, I just use her when I need her and want her. But when I look at how much history is accumulated for her, pages and pages and pages, like all this is large data storage.
Have you ever tried hooking her up to a braille display, and can you communicate by typing? To
No.
me, it's weird to talk to basically you're talking to yourself, but you're talking to your glasses.
Yeah.
And I know with the Ally Solo Ally app, you can actually write, whether you have the glasses or it on your phone, you can have it, you can write to it and it will send you the information back. And I'm not only thinking of me and this weird thing about me, but I'm also thinking about deaf-blind people where they might be useful for.
Yeah. No. That's the simple answer. You
Okay.
can't. No.
Okay.
And you said that there is a button that you use to choose the mode, but
Mhm.
can you also talk to?
Yes.
You can
You
talk to
can't
it.
you can't summon her by speaking. I think they are going to have a wake word, but they don't have one right now. You know, hey Meta. He used to
Yeah.
go around everywhere going, hey Meta, hey Meta. It was I hated that personally. So I will never be using the wake word. It's so much easier just to push a button and summon. I mean, usually you get what you want in the first summon anyway, but you can actually talk to her. I find well, I was thinking the other day I went for a walk with Zoe, the dog, and I had Aggie the glasses, and I had my Voice Vista app on my iPhone too, and it was all working together. The Voice Vista app was speaking through Aggie's um, arms, so it was just telling me, 121st Street, 120th Street. It was telling me, giving me information about where I was from GPS all the time through my ears. And it didn't seem to be bothering Aggie. So when I wanted to know about the state of the construction and whether were puddles, I, clicked Aggie's button and asked her if there were puddles there. But if I forgot and spoke to Aggie, then Zoe, the dog, would look at me. As it was just like, I thought, oh, I don't think, I don't know if my brain can really do this. And, we have these loud machines everywhere. It's just bizarre, but fun.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. To me, I think they will have a hard time making a fortune on blind people. I just don't know. It's all a mystery, but I didn't pay much for Aggie, and I really do like her, and I hope actually that they do succeed because they have produced something much better than the Meta glasses for us specifically.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I had Meta glasses and I sold them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were easy to sell
Yeah.
because people want them. They were very easy to sell.
And I guess it depends what you want them to do. The person I sold them to was actually blind and she wanted them to take videos, and I think they're quite good at that.
Yeah, I think they would do that.
It wasn't something that I wanted them for. I was annoyed that they wouldn't read for me no matter what I asked them. I always
Oh,
got a
me too.
summary.
Yes.
Everything was a summary.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
annoyed me no end too. It was such a disappointment.
They
Yeah.
have gotten better at doing that. They will
Oh,
Yeah.
good.
read. They will
People would
read things.
people would say, all these different commands to give them. Sometimes it would go and sometimes it wouldn't. Now I just press a button and it reads, and I like that a lot. It's better. I do not know. If I didn't live alone, I don't know whether I would have bothered about smart glasses. Living alone, it's just much, much easier to have them than use my phone. They don't really do anything that your phone won't do for you anyway. It's just that it's so much easier to do them without the phone in your hand.
Yeah, that's such a good point. Yeah. All right, last call, I think. Is
I
there
was going
anyone
to.
that has any? Oh,
I was going to say, though I have a pair of Meta glasses, I was so disappointed in some of the many things. But going up the price, that they're going to be these. I don't know where to turn. And I appreciate your presentation because it shows us that technology is going to change even the next couple of years, even more.
It is, Louise, and the other thing is that all of this AI that we have, like if you use Chat GPT right now, it's free. They haven't they're still putting the AI out there free. The big companies are, to get people really using it and depending on it. But that is a temporary thing. Remember when you used to be able to just search for something in Google and it would bring you up 10 links that you actually wanted, and then another list of other things that you could link, and it was just so easy. And now I can't, maybe you can, but I don't seem to be able to find anything that I want in Google. It's just all advertisements and other crap, and it's so frustrating. So now whenever I want something, I use Chat GPT because it is not cluttery. It just gives me what I want to get, and it's free. But I know that that's going to be a temporary situation.
yeah. Yeah,
I guess we can stop the recording.
Thank you very much, Wendy. This was wonderful. I hope everybody enjoyed it.
Well, I kind of enjoyed getting it ready because two more people, groups have asked me to present. So
There you go.
gave me a chance to think it through. I wrote it all out in short little things on Facebook for my sighted friends, because sighted people just kind of go, "Ooh, this must be going to change your life." And so I've been trying to think about trying to keep the thing in context by just writing little pieces of it for people to understand better. And
Well, thank you very much. And I am going to turn off the recording.
Thank you for checking out our content. To learn more about the Alliance for Equality of Blind Canadians, please visit www.blindcanadians.ca. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe.